small bugambillas, so it has to be straight, or you can make it
You have a choice, one can be straight and one going off. You know, when you plant them, you can lean them. Now, it's not a forest, it's twin trunk. And a twin trunk, they should be touching each other. So when you pop them in, we're going to put the two trees together, and they come out of the ground together, and they don't intrude on each other. You want them, see, one will be smaller and one will be larger. Japanese call that son in father and son. And the Chinese, what's the other way around? We call it mother and daughter. The Chinese call it father and son. Okay. Okay? But that's what we want to try to accomplish.
For those of you that didn't know, this was my very first tree, and I did it with Merv 20 years ago.
Wow.
And it's still alive.
Woo! A tree that, my gosh, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And we've got good bonsai soil in here. These ficus eye are radical growers. I'm telling you, they'll take off at the drop of a hat, or they'll rot and die at the drop of a hat. But that's why this potting soil is that much better. More lava rock in there. It really helps the plant develop. It's a good, way back. This is the soil we were using, way back. Yep. Norman Nelson's mix, if I would remember correctly, was one part of lava rock, one part of bark, and one part of Chattahoochee stone.
Two parts Chattahoochee stone.
Yeah, 2 parts of
I mixed it.
You used to mix it. Oh gosh. Yep, those are the mixes, guys. Now, you have, this is a root over rock style. The root was shoved right in there, beautiful. The roots have grabbed on beautifully. We now have a tremendous, starting from the bottom, of these newer roots that they're not necessary. Okay, they just, it's infringing on the beauty of the layout. Okay, this bottom growth basically take off. Now, if you look at a lot of the magazines and the books, okay, one of the biggest challenges I have is when you have this plant that is shaped so beautifully and it looks so gorgeous and it is solid leaves and there's no room for the birds to fly through. Okay? Think about it. It's not too often that you will see a plant where you don't see a break between the branches as it goes up. Right? This is starting to close in totally. Right? And what we need to do is differentiate the structure. Older branches, the bottom branches should be more parallel with the ground, maybe even dropping a little bit more. Open up, you see the difference? Just opening it up, creating platforms, movement as you go up. Yeah? And I can see how it's not going to be tough because you got some nice growth and it's very flexible. So you wire it with a stronger wire and you can twist it and get these branches where they belong. Okay? Constant trimming, tipping necessary to maintain the fullness, but this thing is growing beautifully. Too many branches, you know, small branches, you haven't worked with it for a while. Yep. So it needs trimming, it needs, you know, when I bring this branch down, you see what's happening on the bottom. Yeah. Can it be moved? No, it's too radical to get them to the top. Yeah. You might be able to get it to the side, wire it and get these where they're on the top, not on the bottom. But if you cannot do that, then trim them off the bottom. You do not need growth going down. You need growth going sideways and up to create that fullness in that area. All right? So, enough branching in here. So let's just do this. Let's get ready. Take that one off, that one off. Okay? Because when you wire that, you don't have a hindrance down here. This one you can smaller wire and just bring them up. Get it together. Get some movement in these branches. Don't let them go straight. Let's put some wire on them that we can get some. Yeah. That's what you like these old branches. You want to create the new growth to look like the older ones too. Yep. All of this new growth has to go. Aerial roots, let them go. Okay? You know, if you take a straw, get the thicker straws, not the skinny ones, okay? And stick it into the ground and bring it up so it just rests and that tip go into it, because the moisture under here will pull them down faster. They'll go down the straw. Okay, but you got to keep an eye on it. Okay? Alrighty, so that's an excellent way of developing these aerial roots. Here's one that's just starting, it's new, it's beautiful, and you can develop it. You'll have an aerial root coming down. And that's what these plants are all about. You know, ficus, develop aerial roots and they'll be great. Okay? On these branches here, what we need to do, you want me to cut or you're going to cut?
You cut.
I cut.
You cut.
Okay. Then we're going to remove, clean this up nicely. And what's necessary? You are in. Okay, let's just take them off. We don't want the branches to cross over each other. We want them to have room to grow. Now, technically, these two growing together is a no-no, okay? Both of these coming out in one spot, okay? But we're not going to get too radical here. It's a little bit lower, and they develop nicely. And if we remove that, it's got a lot of space already for an older tree that can be brought in and taken care of. But this is a good back branch. Let's keep it growing the way it is. But traditionally, just make sure, guys, that if you have two branches coming out in one spot on the trunk, remove one. Not only on one side, but if you have them opposite each other on a trunk, one should be removed. So you're staggering your branches. Okay? And when we trim back, you see the harder one, and take that off. Let the new ones start going in. Got a lot of branching in here. Take the bottom off first. The inside in between them so that they don't crowd each other out. Allow them to develop more evenly. Okay, and don't be afraid to tip them. The more you tip them, and the closer to the branch that you tip them, that's where they're going to be branching out. You don't want a long branch with everything growing here. You want them growing back here. Okay? Yeah, this one's developing really good. See what we do there. That one there. Bottom, that on top. Yeah. Inside. Okay. Wire this baby out a little bit, you know, and you're going to trim them. You're going to trim it back. Every once in a while, you know, an old tree has to be taken back and new growth forced into it. Yeah. Okay. See what I'm doing? Cleaning off the bottoms. Yeah, that's the first thing you do. That's the easiest thing to do first. Clean off the bottoms and you see what it's doing. And how tight the branches are growing into each other. See? see there's a top branch. Again, small little thing here. We have a branch here, continuity with that branch. And on the top, this one can be continuous here. And I would take that off. Right. Now you have room for this one. Too much here, that one out, that one out. Branch in there, on the inside, leave room there, and it's permissible for children to point. So we can develop a small branch coming directly at us at the top of the tree. All right? Okay, so we're going to need wiring on it. Just detail it, branches, and once again, don't be afraid, a lot of branches.
What kind of tree is that?
This is ficus and narrow-pony. Willow leaf ficus, or there's so many different names to this baby.
Let's speed this up, Merv.
Pardon?
But 3 trees in 1 hour.
3 trees in 1 hour? Okay, we're moving.
Watch you talk and yell at you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
She told me to yell
I thought my wife left.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.